Or just a second. Yep, recording has been started. Yes. Okay, so let's get started for today. So again, welcome back to the session. So this is Arvind from Isha Training, and we are into a course called Mobile Automation. So, and I welcome you all to this session, demo session. And yeah, so let's get started for today's session. So it's also like 6 minutes past, okay, from our schedule time. So let's get started. So myself, Aravind. So this is a short introduction about myself. Okay. So I have an experience about like 14 plus years in automation engineering. So I'm expertise in some fields like say APM, Selenium, Cucumber, TestNG, JUnit, Cypress. Okay, to name a few. So, and my corporate training experience are like say 8 years actually. So I do a corporate training both for companies and also individuals. And so combinedly, I have around like 8 years experience. And a few of the clients that I worked with are like say some Verizon and ENBD, Binance, and more companies actually, to name a few. So I would like to know about you as an audience. Okay, so let's have a quick 30 to 60 seconds. So just to get ourselves introduced. So I would like to know about your name. I can see it up, but what are you working into and what's your year of experience? Just you can ping it on the chat. It will be really helpful to understand what type of audience we are dealing with and all those things actually. So maybe a quick 30 seconds maybe from now. Maybe let's see. Yeah, there is a chat available. Just you can ping it in the chat. I hope you can see the chat over here, meeting chat, or you can just click this chat and then you can see it. Okay, so let's have some 30 seconds starting now. Okay. Okay, so anyone to start on the chat? Okay, so in case if you feel like say you don't want to chat it, so just you can also unmute yourself. So and you can also speak up, so that's also fine actually. Okay, so anyone on the chat or on the mic, you want to just share your experience and your current working experience, I mean to say, and then okay. So maybe let's proceed. So in case someone is interested, be another 10 seconds. We'll give a chance. Okay. Okay, no problem. Okay, so this just to make the session interactive, but no issues actually. Meantime, if you are interested, you can just put it on the chat actually in our Teams chat just to understand, like, say, what type of audience we are into it. Okay, just to understand a bit. Okay, but pretty much, but not a mandatory, I
Yeah,
would say. Yeah,
yeah, hi, Arvind.
yes,
Richard this side. So I have a
yeah.
total of year experience in mobile application
Mm-hmm.
testing as a manual, 12
Okay,
years. So
okay.
yeah,
Okay,
so
so into the
yeah,
manual experience, yeah, 12 years. Yeah, that's great. Yes. Thanks
yeah,
for
but
thanks
it
for
is
you.
on overall in a mobile application testing for the all the platforms, iOS, Android.
iOS and Android. Oh, that's great. That's great. Do you
So
do also like Huawei device or just sticking onto iOS and Android or how is it?
yeah, pardon.
Do you do the Huawei device? The Harmony OS or just Android and iOS?
Just Android, iOS, M side applications. That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah, fine. Thanks for your yeah. Thanks so much. Yeah. Okay, so thanks for that. So just let's get started. So meanwhile, if anybody interested, you can put it on the chat, like what's your experience and something like that, so that I'll get to know. And to start off with, like what is mobile automation technically? Okay, so mobile automation is something like, say, as Ria was telling, like, say, we have, like, say, manual experience. Okay, so in any fields, if you go, there will be a manual testing available. So every manual testers, like, say, there will be a release cycle. Okay, so if you're working under a sprint or you're working under a waterfall or anything, there will always be a release cycle. So manual testing will be much useful when we are trying to do it is in a functional testing perspective. Okay, so the functional testing is nothing but you have some user stories and you need to test it and you need to provide some bugs or you need to approve, like say it is working fine or not. So those kind of things and all like comes under the functional part of the testing, and we usually do the functional thing mostly in the manual perspective because it's a new requirement and new testing and all those things comes into picture. So that's the reason, like say, when you go before a release cycle, so you have a lot of regression that needs to be done. So regression means, like say, so how many of you have done regression testing? Maybe you can just do a raise hand or something like that in the teams. Yeah. Okay, one, two, three. Okay, oh, five. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. So, what is regression testing? Okay, so technically, oh, okay. So, maybe the next question: have you done the regression testing in a manual way or an automated way? Maybe in the chat you can just type in
Manual, sir.
manual. Okay, thank you. Thanks for the
Manual
response.
only.
Manual. Okay, maybe anyone?
Yeah, I'm also manual regression
Manual.
testing.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so usually like what happens is like regression, we can do it manually. So it's not a, I would say not a big sin, I would say, but doing it in a manual way takes a lot of time. Okay, so that's wherein like say we are going to pinch into something called your automation. Okay, what we are going to do in an automation. So whatever you are going to do in a manual one, so you are going to change it to a automated way so that your script executes it for you and gives the result. So for an instance, like say when I worked in a Verizon company, so it's like a e-commerce company. So where there is a website available, we provide the lines, that means your SIM card along with your device. So when we do that one, so there is a different devices available. It might be a cell phone, it might be a IoT device, it can be any type of device. We provide the service as well as this one, and modems, everything we provide it up. So when we provide these things, like say we might see a lot of devices, Android devices, iOS devices, and also like in Android also we have a lot of model, in iOS also we have a lot of model. So all these things, when we try to test an end to end, that means I log in, I purchase a SIM card, I purchase a device, and then I go for the and then I go for your placing the order. So everything will take around like journey itself will take around like 5 6 screens, and then finally to the payment, the seventh screen. So this for one particular flow, you might spend around like say approximately 2 minutes to 3 minutes. Sorry, 2 minutes to 5 minutes. So for a person, like you can open two browsers. Maybe if you're very good at it, like you open a Chrome browser in normal browser, and then an incognito, and then you can do two things together, and then you can do like say at the most. Okay, like two browsers you can open, and then you can do it up. But automation, like where it will be useful is like say to run this 2 minutes or 5 minutes job journey, you can use your automation, but at the same time you can use multiple devices or multiple browsers to activate this process. Okay, fast track this process. So that's where your automation will be of very useful. Okay, So what you can do it is like, say, since we are into the mobile automation, so let's stick on to something related to mobile. So as far as like as Ria conveyed, like mobiles are into category widely categorized into two divisions actually currently in the industry. So wherein the iOS is the one, and then we have the Android is another one. And iOS, we have only one device in which it runs, but different devices are available, so some depending on the screen size and things. And Android, like say you have different Android systems available. Okay, some people will use the vanilla version. So vanilla version in the sense, an Android like a Google phone, if you have seen it. Okay, so it's not too much popular, but in case if you have seen the Google Pixel or something like that, people use it. That's a vanilla version of Android. Okay, and on top of that vanilla version, you add skin to it. Okay, skin to it. So that's wherein, like say, Samsung adds the skin, Vivo adds the skin, Oppo adds the skin, Motorola adds the skin. So everyone adds some features on top of the existing Android, and they make it like say their product. Okay, so this particular skin only will differentiate how an application should react. Okay, so if you have seen something like say a certain applications will work in certain device, fine. Okay, maybe for example, your application is working fine in a Google phone, but you try to download the application and check it in an Samsung or an Oppo. Some features might be a different. Okay, so that's wherein like say the differentiation comes. So what do we do in case of these differentiations? So we need to have that type of device over there to check what is happening. One device is fine, so no need to have multiple devices, because mainly whenever you check your mobile. Okay, so let me put the question to you. So when you want to buy a mobile, what do you check first? Maybe let's go with Android, because iOS we don't have much competition, so only one device, so pretty much we are buying and we are happy with that. But when you buy an Android device, what are the first things that you basically consider? Okay, so maybe anyone.
First of all, brand and also storage capacity RAM.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I was talking about, the storage capacity and the RAM. So maybe any other criterias more?
Battery.
Okay, so battery is also fine, yeah, it's also fine. So maybe any other thing, any other.
Can you repeat the same question? Actually, my
Okay.
connection is not clear.
No problem. Like when you try to purchase a device, an Android device, what are the different criterias that you consider? So we got an answer like RAM and then the storage and then battery, and maybe any other item that you feel?
OS.
Yes, OS. Yes, that's correct.
Screen size, resolution.
Yep, that's also fine.
People who make
Screen.
reels, they check the camera.
Okay, camera is also fine. Maybe I'll just store the important one alone. OS. So, okay. Okay, fine. So for me as a tester, so these are the main things. So the RAM, storage, screen resolution, and the OS. Okay. So always what happens is like if you are trying to go for a device. Okay. So let me connect my device quickly and then show it to you. Okay. So why these criterias are important to us. Okay. Just a second. Screen resolution to a certain extent it's fine, but it also impacts the user experience, I would say. Okay, so it's not a top priority, but the user experience is being impacted. Okay, so let me connect my device. Okay, and then let me show it to you what happens. Okay, So I'm opening an Android Studio. Okay, so you can also do this one, but maybe the setup and other things let's not mix up in the first session to make you much more easier. Okay, I'll tell it to you. Okay, okay, yeah. So if you see, I connected my device, and usually what happens is like if you go to your Google Play Store. Okay, okay. And if you want to download something like say an application, okay, for example, I just go to the banking application
Sir, if
and
you,
yeah.
sorry, if you're sharing anything, I can't see.
Oh, you can't
Yes.
see it. Oh,
It might be on
okay.
another screen if you're using another screen.
Okay, okay, thanks for
Now we
letting
can.
me know. Now you can see it. Okay, that means I didn't share.
Sorry, it's gone again.
Yep, I didn't share it properly. Just a second. How about now? Can you see my device?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Android Studio, you can see it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know. So for an Android device, like you go to the Play Store and I search for the app called ENBDX and then searched it, and you go inside and you can see over here, like say, let's go to something called about this app, and you can see at the bottom there is something like say require the OS version. You can see it over here, right? Require the OS version. So this is the main criteria. Okay. So and why RAM and storage is also an important part is like say nowadays like all the applications is expanding a bit. Okay. So it occupies a pretty more memory, I would say, and that's the reason RAM and the storage are much more important. And more than that, this OS version is important. So how many of you are aware, like say, what is the latest version available in Android by any chance?
15.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes. Exactly. So Android, the latest version is 15 available. So as you can see it, this application, this is a banking application. This supports from Android 9 and up. Okay. So that means like every year or every new release that an application comes, they upgrade their Android versions. Okay. So they see the market share of which Android version is the least being used. Okay, and the maximum being used, and on that range only they choose it up. Okay, so it might be any device, it can be your Android, for instance. We have seen it for iOS also, we have the same thing. Okay, so this is how basically it works. So that's the importance of your OS. So always having an updated OS with the latest security patch is advisable than to go with the lower versions. Okay, so you can see, so I'm using my Pixel 6a and compatibility, it works on your device, and the version of the application, I mean to say, it's 15.4, and that's it. Yeah. So this is how usually we check it up. Okay. So always getting the latest one is also fine. So in case if you find difficulty in getting the Android version, just go to the phone settings, and there will be something called an about phone, and here you can see the software version Android 15. Okay, so this is how you can identify it. Okay, so this is one of the main things. And since we talked about the applications, so when we are into a mobile application, so this is our mobile applications are widely categorized into three things. Okay, so when we start to test it up, okay, as a functional tester, so we categorize the application into three things. One is like native application, web application, and hybrid application. Okay, so what is basically all these three things? Okay, so if you see as a like say if you walk back to like say 5 6 years back, so mostly you might have heard about a lot of hybrid applications. Okay, and also web application. Okay, so native you might have heard less about it, but when you come to now, as in 2025, so you might hear more about the native application and less about these two things. So that is the strategy they have used in order to build the applications. So native application is something like, say, where it depends upon the platform in which it is being built on. Okay, for example, for an Android we use the Google Play Store. Okay, for an iOS we use the uh, Apple App Store. Okay, so these two things are two separate things, and if an application is built for two different items, then we call it as a native application. So that means in a Google Play Store, in an Android, it's built only for an Android, we call it as a native application of Android. If it is built only for an iOS, it's we call it as a native application for your iOS. Okay, and you cannot mix and match. So you cannot try to share an iOS app into an Android or an Android app into an iOS. Both needs to be built separately in order to use it. So this type of architecture only we call it as a native application. So nowadays there is a lot of native applications available. Okay, and when compared to the web and the hybrid. Okay, so that's how basically now they are building it. Okay, so is anyone aware, like, say, on which platform your Android or iOS is built? Platform in the sense the programming language in which your Android and iOS is built?
Yes. For
Yeah.
the Android, that is Java,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and for the
Mm,
iOS, that is Swift programming.
yeah, that's
And
true.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, please go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, nowadays is React Native, so that is for the HTML or combined for native and hy-
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Exactly. That's true. Yeah.
So
Thanks for
that is
that.
called React Native. So
React
we
Native.
use for the
Mhm.
yeah React framework.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. That's true. Okay, so this is the platform in which your Android and your iOS is built. So that means basically it needs a programming language to build the application. If it's an Android, so it can use Java or the latest one called Kotlin. So that's also you can use it up. Okay, people use it. And for iOS, we have the Swift. Okay, that's a programming language dedicated only for iOS. And apart from Swift, there is something called Flutter. Okay, so in case if you have heard about it, so Flutter is also kind of a hybrid platform, I would tell, because like people who develop in Flutter can have two code bases which can work on iOS and Android, but it's a less gray area that is explored upon. Okay, people still stick on to Swift, okay, and React Native, so for the things related to iOS. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the native application. So any doubts or anything so far till now?
Yes. So just wanted to
Mm,
know whether you are going to cover what kind of application in this course? Like it will be
mhm.
native or it will be web?
Mm, yeah, so we have a variety of applications actually, starting with the real-time application like Flipkart, Amazon, and we have some demo apps called Swag Lab and all those things. So few things are in few behaviors, I would say. Few behaviors that we are going to see in the topic will be related to Android, so that means the native application, and few will be related to hybrid. So we'll do a mixture of it.
Okay, and it will be
Mhm.
containing both Android and iOS, right?
Yes, exactly. It will contain both Android and your iOS. Yes, that's true.
Are we
Yes.
going to do them on emulator or like we will do it on any kind of simulator, anything like browser stack, lambda test, anything are we
Ye-
going to use?
Yes, we'll be using that. Yes, exactly. So we'll start off with the real device setup. Okay. And then
Mm.
slowly we'll see the real device, an emulator and simulator. And then we'll also see about the cloud platforms. We won't see the lambda test, but we'll be seeing something called a sauce lab. Okay, because if you want to like say in case all the cloud platforms are the same, one and the same. Okay, so I'll show
Mm.
some varieties like say sauce lab and browser stack, how to run the program, because they have the free source, I would say. So all the cloud platforms are like say paid only. So for the initial 30 days or 30 days or 10 days they provide it as a free. So that's wherein like say we can consume it for our learning and then we can use it up. Yes, but all the platforms, cloud platforms are the same. So I'll show you some varieties like how you can connect it and how you can use it up. So yep. Yeah, but
Okay. So,
apart from these platform, if you have some other platforms also, just try to bring it, like we'll also see that one. Yeah.
okay. And ADB commands and all will
Yeah,
study.
exactly. ADB commands related to Android and as well as the X simulator or XE run commands in iOS, that also will be seeing it.
Okay. Will we be getting any kind of notes or recordings or something?
Yeah, so the session is a recorded session. So what we usually do it is like say after end of the day. So since it's like India time 10:30, so they might not share it immediately, but the latest on the tomorrow morning, the next day morning, you'll be getting the recordings in a YouTube. But it's like say for first 5 days, it will be something related to who it will be free actually. It will be open to the public so anyone can access it. So and after that like the enrollment starts and then whoever has enrolled it, it will be restricted to the enrollment. Yeah.
So we can see it for lifetime or it will be there for some
Yeah,
time
yeah,
only.
lifetime. So all the codes, the videos, everything is for lifetime. So usually how we share the code is like say you can uh, the way I do it is like if you have a better way you can suggest it. But what I do it is like I have a GitHub repo. So this is a public repo. I share this repository link and then you can use it up. Yeah.
Okay.
So all the codes will be lifetime available. If you want to download it and keep it also, you can download it and keep it in your local. If you want to just maintain it from this repo also, you can just maintain it. No problem. You will not be able to push in any code, but you can just consume the code. That's it. You can read
Okay.
the code, you can download the code, you can do anything. Yeah. But you
So
cannot
what will
modify the
be,
code.
yeah, yeah. What will be the duration of this course? Like,
Yeah, so the duration will be around like 45 to 50 hours, I would say. I would say 45 to 50 hours. So within that time span, we should be able to complete it up. Yeah.
we'll have classes on
Um,
Saturday, Sunday also.
No, it's a weekday session. So starting from Monday to Friday, we have it. So every day, 1 hour sessions we have. So that's how it goes about. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Arvind.
Thank you.
Hi, Arvind. So, in which language we will cover? Python or Java?
Yeah. So we'll be covering all these items as part of your Java. Okay, so this is the prerequisite. So we'll be having it as part of your Java and some prerequisite.
Core Java is complete. Will cover in this course.
Yes, core Java will be covering it up. Okay, so I think somewhere the link was shared. So just me quickly, I'll walk you through the syllabus part. Just a second. Just give me a moment. Just give me a second, guys. Let me take the syllabus link. Ah, okay. So let me search about something like mobile automation. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the latest syllabus, I think, but let me double confirm it. Okay, so by any chance, did you get this syllabus link?
And sir, I think Java is included in it.
Yes, yes, Java is already there. Yep. So this is the syllabus link. Let me double check it.
It is with Gaurav, I guess.
Okay, so this is a different one, huh? Just a
Instructor is
second.
Gaurav.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Then let me get the right link actually. So, but this is almost the same actually. So you have the mobile. Okay, it starts with some. Okay, let me do this way. Okay, so let me take the syllabus and show it to you. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, so this is the one. So time and again we update the syllabus, okay, according to our industry standards. So yeah, this is the one. Yeah. So I think this is, yeah. So this is my name. So this is the syllabus. So I just gave like say 45 hours, but technically it depends on the audience actually. So I don't stick on to 45 hours, but the minimum I keep it as 45, and the maximum is like say 50 hours, because like I usually focus more into like how people understand rather than completing the syllabus. So we also have like say like introduction session that we are seeing it today. So it's more of an interactive session, but the real time session comes only in the oops concept of Java. So we teach all these things. Okay, so retrieving database, we do it up, but again, like say it's like a local database that I've set it up. So not a not something like say a real-time database, but it's almost like a mock data that is coming in. But the setup and stuff, everything is the real close to real. And these are the Java concepts that we see it about. What is Java programming? Class objects, oops concept, conditional loops, access modifiers, interface constructors, collections, exceptions, and retrieving data. Yeah. So this we do it up, and this is the main thing actually. I think someone before was speaking about the setup process, the ADB commands, and all those things. We cover it over here, and then we have the first code to run it under the APM. Okay, so both Android and iOS, I would say, how we run it up, and then we have the actions. Okay, so we have the wait command, actions, press key, long press, touch actions, drag and drop, screenshots, and handling alerts, and then how to switch between the views, in the sense this is applicable, as I told before, like it's applicable for certain application like hybrid applications. And then we have like say web automation. So web automation, don't take it in a different way. So inside a mobile there is a Chrome browser available, so always there is a Chrome browser available. So if you see it, this is a Chrome browser. So how to automate this Chrome browser inside a mobile? Because some people or some websites are more focused. They don't have the app, but they have the web application, and they focus more into how their website is displayed on the device. Okay, so on a real time. So there are multiple ways to do it. Okay, so it's like an debatable topic, because even in a browser you can change the resolution and do it up. So that's also feasible, but some people will prefer the real device. So just we have one topic on that and how to do it up, and that's wherein we expand the topic to this particular items, like launching the browser, making sure the desired capabilities, and how to execute the commands, and whether UI automation works or not, and the APM driver commands, and setting the user agent, everything we'll cover it. And on the iOS part, so this is a larger topic actually. So here only what happens is like I have my demo application as part of iOS, which I'll be sharing with you, so that you can build it inside an Xcode. You can work real time on the Xcode, how it's getting built, how it's getting installed, everything you can check it up. And this, like say, I would say bit complex part, because iOS itself is a complex architecture. So it's a very complex thing. So we'll be checking it as a step by step process, and the setup and all those things for iOS. And if you see, like even the iOS setup is pretty big, I would say, when compared to your Android. Because Android, so that means your the first code in Android APM is quite simple, but in iOS it's a pretty complex setup. So we'll be seeing it, but it's an easy one. Once you set it up, it's like a cakewalk actually the next time. So we'll be doing it in a very slow paced iOS and Android setup. And then comes the framework part. We have the test ng, we have the Cucumber integration, and then the concepts of Cucumber BDD, and then the design pattern page object model, and how to integrate it with Maven, and what are the Maven commands, Maven lifecycle, pom.xml, and then we have the Jenkins setup and integration. So we put our code inside a GitHub, okay, and we see how the GitHub works, and we can also integrate the GitHub to your Jenkins, set up a job and run the job. Till that we'll be focusing into it. Yeah. And I think, let me see whether here I've included the cloud environment. No, I didn't include it. Okay, so the cloud environment comes on by default. Okay, so that means how to integrate it to a Lambda test or a browser stack or a source lab. So that is by default. So we teach it up, because nowadays, like companies are moving towards more to the cloud environment rather than a real device. So we'll be seeing that. And for a, sorry, yeah, so for a cloud environment, like say if you take it up, okay, like say for instance a browserstack.com. So I think like don't sign in this one right away, because you get only like 30 days and after that it is chargeable. So it's you'll be losing your free period. So again you need to sign in with a new email ID and then go about with that. So you can see the pricing actually. So in case if you're seeing for long term, right, you can see the pricing of it. So it's going to be like say we are going to do app testing. So you can see it. The minimum is like say $39 per month. So it comes down to around like 3,500, I think. Yeah, somewhere around that one. Rupees, I mean INR. So this is how it is. So just keep your don't sign in now. Maybe when we start the session, then you can sign in, and I'll tell you like how to run and what are the features available. So almost like if you see one complete cloud environment, it's going to be the replica of the others. Okay, so there is no difference, I would tell. So if I see browser stack, my Lambda test is going to be almost the same. All the features are the same. So if I see Sauce Lab,
So
so both are same. Yeah, yes, please. Yeah.
yeah, sorry, I was saying that I personally I don't understand what is browser stack, what is Lambda, and what is the use of it.
Yeah, yeah. I'll walk you through that. No issues, no issues. I'll walk you
Okay,
through
thank
that.
you.
Yeah, I'll walk you
Are
through
you
that.
going to include parallel testing?
Yep, yes,
Or-
it's included. Yes. It's included as part of our TestNG. So TestNG as a framework, it supports parallel testing. So we'll be seeing that over here. Yes.
Isn't
Uh,
there anything like grid as we have in Selenium grid? So do you
uh,
anything in this?
grid format, we can do it. Yeah, still possible, but I wouldn't suggest to go with the grid. So that's wherein, like say, we have the cloud coming into the picture to do it up,
Well,
because
I
like.
saw like hello.
Mhm. Ah, yeah, yes,
I saw
please.
you've put Selenium as optional. By any
Yes.
chance, does Appium require Selenium for dependencies?
Yes. So we have the dependency, but it's not a huge dependency. You don't need to know everything. So just few classes and methods here and there, we are trying to use it. So that's why I mentioned it as like say it's an optional part. Like say This is the one. I think this is the one you're asking. So that's why I mentioned it as an optional, because we don't use completely the Selenium one, but a few classes like actions class and pointer input, we use it. But again, we do cover it as part of the APM, not as a Selenium. Yeah. So
Okay, okay,
it's a good to have one, not a mandatory one. It's a good to have one. Yeah.
okay.
Okay. So, yep. So this is all about it actually. So any more doubts actually? So we'll come to the cloud part. Okay, don't worry, I'll cover it. So what is it about and why do we require this one? So I'll cover it up. Okay.
Arvind, just want to one more question. We will practice on the use Mac or Windows.
I in the initial point use both actually. So currently I'm using a Mac machine, which supports both Android and iOS, but we use both. Uh, so for the setup process alone, I switch between the Mac and then Windows, because setting up the APM requires some people use Windows and some people use Mac. So both ways we need to do it up. So I just switch between those two things, but you can use whichever platform you want. Yeah, Mac or Windows, it doesn't matter actually.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the one. And but there is one criteria. So in case if you want to explore the Xcode part, right? So which we were talking in the syllabus. Okay, the Xcode part, where is it? Yeah, this Xcode running the project in Xcode. So technically this requires a Mac OS. That's one limitation. But apart from that, the other things you can use either Windows or a Mac, that's fine. Yeah. But Xcode is just to make you understand like how does it work. Okay. Because in some project requirements, they have the Xcode testing as well. So just to make you aware about the concepts in Xcode, so we do teach it up and the syllabus, but it's depends on company to company. So because we do filter out like say what is the requirement for the mobile automation based on the company, and then we develop the syllabus for it. So that's why like we included the Xcode. But people, in case if you don't have a Mac, don't worry about it. So Xcode is a very small part actually. So we are dealing with more bigger picture, like say the setup and running the devices. So Xcode is only, I would say, like contributes around for like 5%, not more than that. So it's a good to have feature, I would tell. Yeah. So we prepare the syllabus based on the number of requirements, that is like say what is the requirements that we have for the currently in the industry for mobile automation, and then we develop it. So that's why we included this part actually, because in some places they ask about the Xcode. So it's a very small part, okay, but not a huge one, I would say. So that's why we included it. But if you don't have a Mac, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So it's a easy one. It's like a couple of clicks and then it works. Yeah, it's like that. Okay. So any more doubts?
Oh,
Just one
hello.
question. One
Yes.
question, Arvind.
Uh, with respect to showcasing the whatever we learned, so how many years of experience we can showcase to the other organizations if we are going for an interview or for as such, means
Yeah.
whatever we learn.
So easily you can project around like 5 to 8 years, I would say. So anywhere between minimum being the 5 and maximum being 8. Okay. So you can project it over there like that. Yeah. So our syllabus is constructed in such a way like it's not at the beginners level, so it's always at the advanced level. So 5 years being like say intermediary level, and 8 years and plus being the advanced level. So you can start anywhere between 5 to 8. Yeah.
That kind
So
of interview questions will be provided, right, in the end or mock.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So it's already we have we time and again update it actually. So depending upon our uh, experiences. So we have something over here as a repository. So let me just, yeah. So here it is. APM talks. Okay, so we have some commands and some interview APM Java interview questions. So every time we update it actually. So, or sometimes we directly provide it in our WhatsApp group as well. So usually like what happens is like say uh, after the 5 days of public session is closed, we have an enclosed region WhatsApp group wherein we share the updated docs and all those things actually. So, but the same thing it's maintained over here as well, so you can download it and use it up. Yeah, that's
Okay.
about it. Yeah, so it'll be done. Yes. To answer it, yeah, if we do it, yes. The questions and all those things.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So moving. Yeah.
Yeah, just one question, Arvind.
Uh,
So APM, does it support performance testing as well, or is only automation?
uh, as a, I wouldn't say it supports performance testing, but we can do performance testing to a certain extent. So how do I say that we can do it is like say you can connect 2 3 real devices, okay, and at the device level for an application how it works on a parallel basis we can do the performance testing. But assume a scenario like say uh, if you're connected to a cloud and if you have like say purchased some plans like individual plan, so you want to connect like say 50 devices or something, so that's also kind of a performance only, so but not an exactly as a performance. So that's the disclaimer I would say. So you can do it but not completely.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, partially you can do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for your questions. Now jumping into like say the APM part of it. Okay. So what is APM and how do we use it up? Okay, so APM as it is like say it's an open source tool. Okay, so you don't need to pay any license or something, and it's mainly used for iOS and Android testing. Okay, devices or the platform I would say, and it also supports your mobile web browser automation as well. And this is the official link actually. So let me share the link with you. Oops. Yeah. Okay, what happened? Paste it. Yep, this is the link just to show you how it works. Just click it, paste it. Yep. Okay, so this is the 2.9 that I initially used it, but now you can see it, it's like 2.15. So that's the latest version available in the market. So you can start to use it. Okay, so this is the latest version. So let me put on the latest version. So always we'll go with the latest. We don't go with the old one. Okay, so installation and setup will be coming to it, and the language that we deal about is like say we deal with Java, but it supports all these languages like JavaScript, Python, Ruby, and .NET. So Python being the latest one, okay, but we don't teach Python completely, okay. So we do have some parts wherein we can integrate the Python, but not the complete one. We focus mainly into Java because that's the most popular one, which is being used with the APM. So Python is used mostly with the web application called PyTest, but for the APM part, like they use mostly Java. Okay, so maybe once the industry moves forward, so we may also update it. Okay, so we're just keeping a close catch on that as well. But this is the things we are trying to use it up here. Okay, and let me quickly replace this one. I'll give you the slides as a PDF as well, so shouldn't be a problem. Okay, and the main thing is like it's open source, you don't need to pay, so that's why company likes APM. Okay, all your organization likes APM, and there are a few other competitors as well for APM. So we have like say Ranorax. Before coming to the advantation, like say some competitors are Ranorax, Catalan Studio. So all these things are like say a few competitors of your APM, but they are only like open source to an extent, I would say. So open source to an extent in the sense like some features are like say uh, they are not given under the open source, so you need to pay and use it up. So that's the reason like say people are not going, actually not that much, except for the westerners I would say. So some western countries they still adopt towards the commercial license thing, so like Ranorex or Tosca or even Catalan Studio. So if they explore the Appium part, so the Catalan Studio is something built on top of the Appium. So we are studying the core part of it, not the top version of it. So it's always better to go with the core version where you have a lot of things to do. Yeah. Okay. So those are the competitors and these are the advantage. Okay. So it's an open source and supports your native, hybrid and web browsers on mobile. And the major programming language that we are dealing with is with respect to Java. So Python, C Sharp, Ruby, JavaScript, PHP are supported actually. So PHP, I think it's no longer available. Yeah. So you can remove it up. It's a age old language and people stopped it up. Yeah. And it can integrate seamlessly with CI tools like Jenkins and the latest being Circle CI, anything you can integrate it up. Okay, even the GitLab, GitHub, so GitHub Actions, so anything you name it, you can use it up. Okay, so there are some parts like say I'll be deviating little apart from the syllabus, okay, just to touch base and then return back. Okay, so those are something related to GitHub and GitHub Actions. Okay, because you need to know the latest things. Okay, so maybe not the complete one we'll be seeing it, but we'll touch base it. That means we'll just go there, we'll touch it, we'll see what it is doing, and then we'll come back. So like that we'll be having it up. And this is where like say our cloud comes into picture. Okay, so cloud is something like say which we discussed some time back, but we'll be discussing it little further as well. But for today, we'll just limit it so that in tomorrow's session we'll discuss about the cloud more. Okay, okay. So we have a lot of cloud providers like AWS Device Farm, Browser Stack, even an Azure has it actually. So I didn't name it, but Azure also has it up. Okay, and also they work with its like say some people what they do it is like they want to run your application on your code base actually. So if a developer develops the code they need to run it on the code and check it up. Okay, so if you have heard about TDD approach, test data driven approach. Okay, so in those approach, what they do is like they build the test cases, run the test cases, and based on the failure, they develop the application. So that's the reason, like say we have XUI test and Expresso available, but technically APM doesn't support it. But APM has a plugin wherein Expresso can be integrated. Okay, so it can be done partially. Yeah, not fully. Okay, and APM, to be more clear cut, it doesn't work on the application code directly but with the application itself. Okay, so that means like say you go to Play Store or you go to App Store, you download the application and then it works it up. Okay, so that is how basically it will be working. Okay.
The link you have shared, my
Mhm.
chat is showing I have no longer access to the chat.
Oh, is it okay? Let me see. uh, just a moment. So this last link which I'm pointing out right now, is that the one?
Yes,
Ah,
sir.
okay. So
Last two, even
I have
18
not
websites.
last.
seen RAM storage also.
There are
Okay.
many names which are showing as no longer access.
Yes. I see, sir. I see there is some discrepancy retrying. I'm not sure why, but what I will do, I'll just ping this inside our WhatsApp group. That works actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe there is some issue in the Teams, I think, but yeah, I'll do it in the WhatsApp. Yes. Okay. So maybe for today's session, let's stop it here, and maybe let's continue tomorrow. Maybe for enrollments or other stuffs related to our course and timings, right? Before we deep dive into more into the APM part, in case if you want to get in touch with some person in the Isha training, so let me just project it over here. Yes, that's Mr. Kumar sir. You
And
can.
Arvind,
Mhm,
one doubt.
mhm.
So generally there has been a practice. Now I'm seeing everywhere in the market. So
Okay.
after 5 to 7 days, are you going to merge two batches and then proceed
Mm.
further, or you are going to continue this batch?
No, no, no. We don't merge batches actually. We don't merge batches. So what do we do? It is like usually. So that's wherein like we keep a window for 5 6 days actually. So that's decided by the Isha. So how many free days will be decided. So usually it's like 5 to 6 days. So this is the group actually. So this is the group wherein whoever is trying to enroll it, they'll be enrolling it up. Okay, and after that one final batch group will be available, WhatsApp group, so that will be the final. So after it's decided as a final, so there will be no additions will be done.
Okay, so after first 5 days, it will be the final batch, right?
Yes, 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 yes. This first 5 days will be open to public. Anyone can join. If they like it, they can enroll it, and then it goes about like that. Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hello. Uh,
Yes.
I just wanted to understand regarding from the cloud perspective, you will be teaching any by taking any one provider, but when it comes to
Mm.
one specific cloud I need to work with, so it will be similar kind of commands and everything. Is it so? So I can work
Exactly.
on. Okay, fine.
Exactly, exactly. Yes. So if you learn, like say, one cloud service provider, so it's going to be the same actually for the rest of the other providers. So that's why, like say, we don't do one. So we do take two, three, and we do it up.
Okay.
Yes. So
So in
minimum,
that,
at least
Az-
we do two. Yeah.
Azure is considered.
Azure right now we are not doing because it's the cost is very high. But maybe I'll see, like say, if I have some licenses, I can do it up. Yeah, we can
Okay.
consider that. Yeah, sure.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
So this is the contact number. So just you can keep in touch with him for the enrollment and other stuffs actually. And yep, so it's like a Q&A. So in case if someone wants to drop out or drop in, like say for maybe an upcoming personal going out or something, please feel free to drop in. And thank you again for joining the session. So again, we'll continue this session tomorrow as well. So for enrollments and other things, you can use this number to do it up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Nice interesting with you. Yeah. Thank you. Yep. Thanks, Rupa. Thanks, Aslam, for the emojis.